Hi, hello children. How are you all? Welcome to my class. Today in this class we are going to study about your science 6th lesson, that is physical and chemical changes. So today we are going to deal with some of the certain points, that is what is the change and what are the types of changes such as physical change and the chemical change. So first let us know what is the meaning of change. Change is nothing but the alteration of a substance from its original shape, size, color and state is called change. State is nothing but the condition of a substance. Okay, so the change means alteration of a substance from its original shape, size, color and state is called change. Suppose I have a clay. Okay, if I make a pot, it's a change, right? So whenever you are changing the form of a substance is a change, right? So children, we live in a changing world. So every day we come across many changes in our surroundings, right? So can you list some of those changes? Yes. Yeah, your list may include ripening of a fruits is a change. Wash clothes dry quickly when we put them out in the sun, it's a change. The raw vegetables that are brought from the market change into a delicious dish after cooking, it's a change. The cubes of ice used to chill your soft drinks are formed by freezing water is a change. A dark room is bright again when you switch on a bulb, it's a change, right? In fact, almost all living and non-living things undergo a change. Okay, children, can we reverse the change? Yes, reverse is nothing but the move backwards. Okay, so can we reverse the change? Yes, sometimes we can and sometimes we cannot, right? So the changes which can be reversed are called reversible changes. The changes which can be reversed are called reversible changes. For example, melting of ice, it become water, right? So when you freeze this water, again it will become the ice. Yes, it is called a reversible change. Next one is a melt. When the ice cream melts, it will become a liquid, right? Once you freeze that ice cream, that liquid ice cream, again it will become a solid ice cream. So this is one of the reversible change, right? The next one is changes which cannot be reversed are called irreversible changes. There are some changes which cannot be reversed are called irreversible changes. For example, we can make a omelette from the egg, but we cannot convert that omelette into a egg again, right? So one more example you can give, burning of wood. Once you burn the wood, you will get the ash, but you cannot convert that ash into a wood again, right? So this is one more example for irreversible change. So now let us move to the next concept, that is the changes can be classified into two types. The first one is a physical change and the second one is a chemical change. Now let us know more about this. What is the meaning of these physical changes? Physical change, a change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties. Okay, a change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties is called a physical change. So what are those physical properties? Properties such as shape, size, color and its state. State is nothing but its condition. So properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance are called its physical properties. Okay, so a change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties is called a physical change. Understood, children? Okay, next one is a physical change is generally reversible. So these physical changes are generally reversible. Reversible means a change which can be reversed, right? A change which can be reversed are called reversible change. For example, when you stretch the rubber, it will become long, right? So when you again leave it, it will come into its original position. That is the reversible change. Understood? Next one is no new substance is formed. So after the change, we will not get any new substance. For example, tearing of a paper. Okay, here are the some examples. If you tear the paper or if you shred the shredding of a paper, it means it is a cutting or the tearing of a paper. If you tear the paper, you cannot join the piece back to make the original piece, right? But is there a change in the property of the paper? Yes. the change, it is in the size may be varies, right? So that is a physical change. See here, you are not getting any new substance. When you tear the paper, do you get any cardboard or any other color paper or any new substance? No, the paper will remain paper only. So it is the physical change. Understood? The next one is the kneading of a dough. When you knead the dough, okay, do you get a clay after kneading the dough? No, the dough will remain dough only, right? Next one is here, cloth. If you cut out some piece of cloth from the big cloth, the size of this big cloth may decrease, right? The size of this cloth may be decrease, but the cloth will remain cloth only. It will not become the paper. So there is a no formation of the new substance, but there is a change in its size, right? That is a physical property. Next one is here, chopping of wood. If you cut the wood, you will not get any new substance here. So the wood will remain wood only. It may be varies in the size, right? Next one is the mixing of a gray and the green marbles. If you mix the green and the gray marbles, you will not get any new substance. You will not get any other ball, right? You will not get any ball or skipping rope and all. You will get the marbles only. So this is the physical change. Understood, children? What are the physical change? Okay. The first activity is what you have to do. You have to take a small chalk. Okay. Now you have to crush that small piece of chalk and it will become a dust, right? So add a little water into that dust to make a paste. Now roll it into a shape of the piece of a chalk. Now let it to be dry. So did you recover chalk from the dust? Yes. Did you recover chalk from the dust? Yes. You have made chalk from the dust. Is there any change in the means? Is it change in any physical property? Yes. The size may be varies, right? So a piece of chalk underwent changes in size, but here there is a no formation of a new substance, right? You got the chalk only. Yes. Do you got any other thing here? Color pencil and all? After rolling it? No, you didn't get, right? You get the chalk only. So it is one of the physical change. Next activity is what you have to do. You have to take a small glass or a tumbler here and take some ice into it. Okay. Now melt the small portion of the ice by placing the tumbler in the sun. Okay. You have to melt some small portion of the ice by placing the tumbler into a sun. What you will observe here? Yes, the ice will become the water. The ice, it is in the state of solid. It will become liquid, right? When you again freeze it, it will become solid again, right? When you again melt it, it will become liquid. Now what you have to do? You have to take that liquid and boil it. Now what you will observe here? Yes, so the steam rising from the surface of the water. Now hold a pan here. Now what you have to do? You have to hold a pan here and you will observe that there is droplet on that pan. So here the solid ice, it is converted into a liquid, and when we heat that liquid, it will again converted into the gaseous state, right? But is there any formation of a new substance? No, it will remain water only, right? Okay, the water changed its state from liquid, solid to liquid, liquid to gas, right? And from again gas to the liquid. Here is a vaporization, that is in the form of gas. Again the droplets we found here on the pan, that is the liquid. So there is a change in states of the water. We find the water only. There is no formation of a new substance. Okay. The next one is chemical change. A change in which one or more new substances are formed. See here. A change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. Whereas in the physical change, what I said you, there is a no formation of any new substance. But in the chemical change, we will find or we will get a one or more new substance after the change takes place. Okay, so a change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change, and these changes generally irreversible changes. Irreversible changes means a change which cannot be reversed, right? So that is called the irreversible changes. For example, rusting of iron. So can you see this one, rusting of iron? Yes, so if you leave a piece of iron in the open area outside of your house for some time, it acquires a film on the brownish substance on that particular substance. So that substance is called the rust, and the process is called the rusting. You will learn more about this, what is the rusting, how it is formed, and what is the chemical reaction takes place in this formation of the rusting in your next class. Okay children, next concept, let us know some more examples of the chemical changes. The first one is a burning of a wood. As I told you, when you burn the wood, you will get the ash, but you cannot convert that ash into a wood again, right? Next one is a banana rotting. Next one is a cooking an egg. When you make an omelette from the egg, you cannot convert that omelette into the egg again. Next one is a baking of a cake. Once you bake the cake, you will not get that batter again, right? Okay, so these are all the examples for chemical change. Now let us do some activities to know more about the chemical change. The first activity is burning of magnesium ribbon. So what we have to do, we have to take some small piece of ribbon of magnesium, and we have to bring the tip of that magnesium ribbon near to the flame. When you bring that tip of the ribbon near the candle, it starts burning with a brilliant white light. Here you can see the white light. When it burns with, it will produce a brilliant white light. When it is completely burnt, it leaves a powdery ash. Okay, when it completely burnt, it leaves behind a powdery ash. So now children, tell me, does the ash look like the magnesium ribbon after burning? No. So the ash will remain ash only, so you cannot convert that ash into a magnesium ribbon again. So the change can be represented by the following equation here. So the magnesium, we have taken the magnesium ribbon, right? So the magnesium ribbon, when it come in contact with the oxygen, that is O2, it will produce that magnesium oxide, means that is MgO. So magnesium plus oxygen gives us magnesium oxide. It is one of the new substance which we got from the magnesium ribbon, that is magnesium oxide. Okay, the next one is, what we have to do, you have to take that ash. Okay, so you have to take that magnesium oxide, that is a magnesium oxide is nothing but that it is in the form of ash, right? So you have to take that ash and mix that ash in a small amount of water, then it forms a new substance. When you add ash into a water, here you will find a new substance, that is a magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so magnesium oxide, when it mixes with the water, it will give magnesium hydroxide. So there is a formation of another new substance, right? So magnesium oxide is a, here the magnesium oxide is a new substance formed on burning of magnesium, and here the magnesium hydroxide is another new substance formed by mixing magnesium oxide with the water. Understood children? So there is a formation of two new substance, that is a magnesium oxide and the magnesium hydroxide. Now let us do one more activity. Here what you have to do, you have to take one beaker. This is called the beaker, which we usually use in our laboratory to perform experiments. Okay, so what we have to do, you have to take one tumbler or beaker, dissolve about a teaspoonful of copper sulfate. You have to add a copper sulfate into this water, that is also called a blue vitriol. Okay, copper sulfate is also called a blue vitriol, and then you have to add a few drops of sulfuric acid. Okay, now what is the color of this solution? Yes, it is blue. Yes, it is a blue color. Next, what you have to do, you have to take a nail or any blade. Okay, now you have to insert or you have to drop a blade into this copper sulfate solution. Now you have to leave it for half an hour. After half an hour, you just observe the color of the solution. The color of the solution will turns into the green, right? After some times, the changing of the color from blue to green, you will observe. Why it is so, children? Can you tell me? Yes? The changes that you notice are due to the reaction between the copper sulfate and the iron. Here we were having copper sulfate solution in this beaker. When we add blade, that is a iron. So the change in the color is because of the reaction between the copper sulfate and the iron. Okay, so the change of color of the solution from blue to green is due to the formation of the new substance, that is iron sulfate. Here you can see, yes, copper sulfate solution we were having, that is a blue in color, right? Here you can see that is blue in color. So when we add this blade, that is the iron, so we got a new substance that is called a iron sulfate solution, which is green in color here. Now what you have to do, you have to take out that blade from the solution and you will observe, then you can see that there is a deposition of the one layer on that blade, that is nothing but the copper. So the brown deposit on the iron blade is a copper. There is a formation of a one more substance here, right? So there is a formation of two substances. The first one is iron sulfate and the second one is a copper. Okay, so copper sulfate solution, when we add blade into a copper sulfate solution, we found iron sulfate solution and the copper. These both are the new substances. Understood, children? So what is the physical change and the chemical change? In the physical change, we do not find any new substance. There is no formation of a new substance here, but in the chemical change, there is a formation of a one or two more new substances, right? So today, children, in this class we have learned what is the meaning of change and what are the types of changes, that are chemical changes, physical changes, and along with that we have learned two more types of changes, that is reversible and the irreversible changes, and we came to know that there are many changes which takes place around us, right? They, in that, some may be our physical change and some may be our chemical changes, right? Okay, hope you all understood the concepts very well.